Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Woke up this morning, feet hit the ground. We got another day here. 24 hours to make a difference, and we're going to try to provide that to all the loyal viewers and listeners. And today, I usually put special guest, but he's more than a special guest. He's been a longtime ECSI family member, good friends. The one and only Mr. Dave Sharapan, aka the real Vegas Dave, has blessed us today in the studios, where we're going to catch up in all the sports. I bet you his heart's still pounding from the 6-5 overtime Avs win last night, and then from there jumped over, like me, to Texas-Oklahoma State softball game, which was an amazing one. But we will touch all those topics and more. So let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Dave Sharapan.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you. I got my Red Sox Pedro Martinez jersey on today, so I'm matching you here.
I like it. I like what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I always see you working. Yeah, I went with the throwback Tony Gwynn today. This is the maybe one of the, some people say ugliest, but what's ugly when you're wearing a baseball jersey and you're having fun talking about baseball? Nothing's wrong with that.
Someone on Twitter yesterday posted your all-time favorite pitcher versus one of today's modern stars. Who would you put up? And I put, of course, the GOAT, Pedro Martinez.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny you got the San Diego. I put versus Tatis. And I said Tatis would get in the box, see 3 straight changeups, scratch his head, and walk right back to the dugout.
That's a good matchup. That would be fun. That wouldn't be man, I'd love to see Pedro pitch against guys today. He'd have them walking back to the dugout with strikeouts going, what did I just see? And what am I going to do next time? They wouldn't even have a clue, I think, how to approach it the next time. That's the modern day baseball. It's like, I don't know if anyone's making any adjustments or what sometimes. They just literally strut back to the dugout like they hit a 450-foot bomb. I don't understand it.
And it's funny, the mentality in today's baseball, again, where the strikeout is accepted, it's walk, homer. That's about it. You look at this Yankees team, and on our closing bell, Scott's always talking about the Yankees aren't that team that you really think, meaning they're 39-15. They're 24 games over 500. But if you actually dig in and look at their analytics, they're not smashing the ball. They're not moving runners. They're not scoring double digits. They're winning a lot of 2-0, 3-0, 4-1s. Judge at 21 or 22 homers. Carpenter comes over. He's joining the party. It's different, Dave. It's different.
Oh, it's way different. This isn't the Bronx Bombers by any means. They're the Bronx. I like their pitching is very good. They're the Bronx bullpen. Like they're getting 6, 7, 8, 9 innings are solid. And I mean, I'd argue that the 9th is probably the least solid of them. So they played a lot of games against Baltimore too. Don't forget that. I think they played 14 games already against the Orioles. They may have 1 series left against them. Did what they're supposed to do, win the games they're supposed to win, continue to be favored every day, continue to just get you to the window every day. It's one of those ones where, we think about so much stuff. We got, people I know, they're already talking about getting the Phil Steele magazine and diving into, Ball State and how many returning starters they have so they can hammer that first 2 weeks and have the numbers and this and that. Sometimes it's just as simple as bet the Yankees every day. Just bet the Yankees every day. Like it's who knows?
It's so funny you say that because every time we have a loss here, that team sucks. I'm never playing them again. Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
And you know, the talk in the Discord and the ECSI family once in a while is because we were trying to cherry pick the Braves here and there, and then they go out to Colorado, they get fat, their bats wake up. And you guys did it again, and I didn't want to go early into this, but I'm going to do it to you. You gave me the banana in the tailpipe again yesterday. And the funny thing is this is overnight, last night, Angels open up minus 135 against the Red Sox. Now the Angels had lost 11 in a row.
Yes,
Trout was 0 for 26.
Yes.
Otani, no one's hitting. The Red Sox finally got to 500. They had a half game lead on the Angels for the third and final wild card. Wake up in the morning, the line's minus 120, and there's only one way that line can go, obviously, and that's all Red Sox money, which it was. We just wanted to play the first five. Syndergaard coming off of a loss, a bad outing, so you're probably going to get the good Syndergaard. And long story short, Scotty Webb's throwing me their Angels are 27th in the majors in the last 3 weeks in hitting. They've lost 11 in a row. Now, you know this. In baseball especially, you can win 11 in a row, you can lose 11 in a row. Never step in front of a streak or never try to predict when they're finally going to win. So I played the first five, and we lost 1-0. It was on an error in the second inning. Again, they got some runners on early, but where the hell do you come up with the minus 135 there, Dave?
Oh, it's hilarious. I have no idea. I saw it myself, and I said, man, that's somebody that wants to bet the Red Sox at plus money. You put it up so everybody copies it, and then you send everybody out to get as much Red Sox money as you can. I mean, it's Walker. Have you seen Walker's numbers? Pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. The game should have been pick 'em. Sometimes the odds makers don't know either. You know, it's just like the numbers say that the Angels should be favored. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care. They lost 11 in a row. Who's going to bet them? Oh, that's right. We'll need them. Oh, we'll need them. Okay. Well, we lost again. So I mean, there's some simple things. The Angels were across the country on the end of a long road trip, right? They fly home. They're playing the Red Sox, who just swept Oakland. It's a 45-minute flight down. They're sitting there sleeping Sunday night, waiting. The Angels are coming back after getting walked off the last game. My buddy Stott hit the walk-off home run, his first career walk-off home run. It was an awesome thing, awesome day. And overnight comes that way. There's no explanation, JD, other than, somebody might think they know shit, but I don't know. I don't think they do. I don't think they do. Nobody does.
We're going to get into the playoffs as it is. Can you give me the Phillies were the Walking Dead? They said we got to do something. They let Joe go. In come the Angels, who had just again got swept by the Yankees. They had just lost a doubleheader. We were on the Phillies opening the first game of that series. I think Wheeler. I think it was 10-0 or something.
Yep.
They battle back and forth. They win game 2, and then game 3, grand slam in the 8th, and a 3-run walk-off, as you said, by Stott in the 9th. A heroic comeback. I then go on Twitter and say, hey, maybe the Angels will take notice what the Phillies did once Joe left the building. And our buddy at SoCal DGen, an avid sports fan, obviously, in the great follow with all the stats and angles and edges. He talking about it's the ownership there. And as you know, as a baseball fan, they're built so wrong. I said they're still hurting from the Pujols contract. Never mind, they only have 2 front-end starters. They have no length after that, and they have no bridges. They have no back end. They're just destined for failure. So my question that I said is it time for Joe to go?
I don't know what goes on in those clubhouses without being there every day. Usually the old betting angle when they change a lot of times, I mean, in hockey, it's definitely a thing. When they fired a coach, there's an immediate bounce back. Just because a lot of times they're done listening. I don't know if they're done listening I don't even think Madden's trying. There's no motivating this and that. They can't hit. I don't know if changing the manager right now is going to change the fact that they cannot hit the ball right now. And then the pitching is a lot of holes. There's a lot of things. I mean, I don't know if he goes. What do? They make a playoffs as a wild card. They're not beating Houston. They're not. Houston is a proven commodity with a deep lineup. They got bashers. They got pitchers. They're not beating Houston. You live up in New England. You have to win the division first. The Patriots used to own that division. Win that division and beat everybody in it. Set yourself up for playoff success. The Angels have to really micromanage. They got to figure out somehow how to beat Houston. Once they figure that out, or even get close to that, then they can worry about postseason success, surrounding Trout with, other help and stars, getting Ohtani maybe off the mound and just playing the outfield, or just on the mound and not playing the out. All these other stories that surround them. It all seems like a distraction to just beating the Astros. So I don't know if it's time. Do you think he's got to go? I mean, he is his own guy. He manages his own way. Do you think it's time for him to go?
Well, they came out of the start of the season guns a-blazing, and I thought they were the good sleeper team out west. You were going to get a healthy Trout. You had Shohei. You're going to get a bounce back year from Rendon. Then they add, Marsh, Walsh. They were all stepping in. Adele had a great spring training, and then they shipped him back down. Now he's back up. Again, if you had a healthy Syndergaard with Shohei, then what do you have at the 3, 4, 5? It's so funny, Dave, because I was the one in New England that was saying the same thing about the Red Sox, yet Pivetta, Hill, and Walker have been the staples of the Red Sox pitching staff right now.
Yeah. And it takes, you got to have, I don't even know if you have to have an ace anymore if you have 3 really good ones. Like, look at the Blue Jays. Look what they're doing. I mean, do they have a singular ace? I mean, Gausman is the guy, yes, but like Manoah's just as good. Kikuchi's pitching great. Ryu, when he is healthy, I mean, they have you got to have a bunch, and you can have the days of having that one guy, and then the guys after him just try to go 500 because the ace is going to go, 20 games. When go 20-6. Now you get 3 guys that are going to go over 500 consistently. They don't have to win 20 games. It's enough. I mean, you got to build the bullpen just as much. So I don't know if changing the manager in Anaheim's the answer, but I mean, there's no line yet on the game today. They haven't even listed a pitcher yet today, so they'll be favored again today. The Angels are 100% going to be favored again today. It says Whitlock for Boston, and has nobody listed yet for the Angels. It's going to come Angels minus 115, no doubt.
They were minus 135 to win the series, and it was funny. It's a 4-game series, and I saw Whitlock was on deck, so I'm like, all right, they know something here, guys. They know something, because then I don't think they'll be favored against Whitlock, and I'm assuming they're going to catch a Navaldi piece coming soon. So I just have no clue what the hell those guys are doing back there. But when I asked you 2 years ago in the March Madness how the hell LSU was 1.5 over Iona, you said, well, after 6 times you gave me an answer and I didn't believe you. All right, so-and-so needed that number, okay?
That's just I don't know. It's just, sometimes when I say nobody knows it, I mean it. Nobody knows.
All right, I'll end baseball with this.
Yep.
Madden, LaRussa,
Mm-hmm.
Mattingly.
Mm.
Do they all last the whole year? If not, who goes first?
Madden, LaRussa, yes. Mattingly, yes. I think the only one that's even an option is Madden to get fired during the season. I just don't think does anybody do that anymore. I'm so surprised that the Phillies did it, but the Phillies did it because the Mets are getting away from them. The Mets are really I said it on Bostonian versus the book with Pro yesterday. He asked me biggest surprise team in baseball. I said what the Mets are doing is really defying a lot of odds. I mean, can't have the second best record in baseball, only behind the Yankees, with what they're doing with that lineup and no DeGrom and Scherzer's been out now a few weeks. It's unbelievable, but I think it would be Madden would be my favorite to go first. Mattingly second, and the White Sox have had some injuries, and LaRussa's not going anywhere. He's leaving on his own terms. Nobody's firing Tony La Russa, 75-year-old Tony La Russa right now. The White Sox are going to be okay. They're you can't control the injuries. You know that. And then when the whole lineup slumps, look at what happened in Boston at the beginning of the season. Nobody was hitting except the two core guys. Now you get these, stories, best hitter in baseball, I'd say, in the last month. Help the whole lineup. Now they're scoring runs to go with the pitching. Are the Red Sox 500 today? I think they're 500 now, right?
No, they're one game over 500 now.
One game over. Things are looking okay up in Boston. Like, it's okay. Everybody relax. Unfortunately, you got the best record in baseball looking up in the division. And, nobody's even talking about the Rays. All they do is win. They're right there. Blue Jays are getting hot. Manoah's on the mound today. Huge favorite at Kansas City. He's going to strike out. He's probably going over his K prop, and he's probably going to win again. Manoah's been pretty consistent as a starter, and the Jays score enough when he wins. I don't know. That's only 230 about right now. Let's see. Yeah, 230. Yeah. There's a little one for you. You want some actionable information. There you go.
Shout outs to Marty from Alabama. Roll Tide. Our buddy Chris Andrew at South Point put out the sheets for opening week, and surprisingly, Bama only minus 12 against Texas. I had talked to a few people behind the scenes. They thought that might get to as high as 17. So maybe Mr. Andrews knows something about that. And shout out to Mr. Cole, who says the consig is in the house.
Oh,
yeah. So some of your fans from all around the world
nice
checking in there. Let's pivot over to Celtics. 1-1. Kind of figured that obviously that Golden State would get it done and bring this back to 1-1. Going back to Sunday, Golden State 2-point lead at half. They do what they have done forever, own the third quarter. And when we talk about own, they just Steph got hot, and they got finally Clay to start to heat up, and then obviously pull from three-quarter court for the dagger in the heart. I guess the first question, and I was battling with a good friend of mine, season ticket holder, Draymond Green. Okay, he already had the one tech. He gets into the little scuffle with Jaylen Brown. They go to check it, and even whoever the guy was, I'm drawing a blank here. They brought him on, former NBA ref, basically said it in a nutshell. He says, "Yes, we know Draymond has one tech. It wasn't flagrant enough to give a double tech. Maybe in January they would slap their wrists." And the Celtic fans just, it was the ref's fault that they were down 29 in the third, start of the fourth, and the fact that Draymond didn't get tossed. You watched the game. Was there any thought in your mind that they were going to give double techs there?
I didn't watch the game. I watched just some of it here and there. I was watching something else. I think You got to be cautious in the finals of giving guys double techs and kicking guys out of games. As a fan, I want to see the players play the game. I don't need to see them play a lot of times like that. Like there was a lot of stuff that Draymond was getting away with while I was watching in bits and pieces going, man, he got carte blanche to kind of do whatever he wants right now. Like he's yapping a lot and they're letting it go. And it's pissing off the Celtics. It's pissing me off. And I'm not even, on the game. I got no dog in the fight. And I'm watching it going, wow, this is bizarre. And I know, from just playing sports my whole life and stuff going, somebody needs to go just give them a shiver. Just give them a little forearm shiver and just let them know that, look, you can put on the show and you can do this, but somebody's going to hit you in the mouth. Like that's what guys like Charles Oakley did back in the day. Everybody had a guy. I mean, every team back in the day had a guy for that mouth that wouldn't stop talking. In hockey, you're allowed to go run them into the boards. You're allowed to take a 2-minute minor and let them know. You want to keep it up? You want to go near our stars? You're going to get hit. So I don't need to know. Like, I'd rather the players police the game than the officials police the game, especially when the stakes are the highest, like the finals. So I got no qualms. Like, I've learned from being in this business long enough, can't control the officials. I don't even want to have that discussion, whether they did the right thing, they didn't do the right thing, they didn't make the right call. You can lose your mind thinking that. I'm trying to coach these kids and stuff. When we go and we have an umpire calling a ball in the other batter's box a strike, they're like getting frustrated. And I try to tell them, like, look, I'll go tell him again he missed a call. I will try. He's going to keep doing it. So we have to figure out a way to overcome that. Celtics will figure out a way. They'll figure out a way. He ain't going to do that. That ain't going to happen in Boston. I don't think because that got the Celtics off their game. They missed the shots and they not that they were distracted. They're playing for the NBA championship. They're fine. But it's not going to play out like that in Boston. I don't think. I mean, you were in that building just last round. You know how loud that's going to be and the venom that's going to be spewed there. So I don't know. I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch the game. Are you surprised by this number?
Well, that's where I was going to go from there. So we stay outside looking in for the first game. Now, the initial thought was Celtics lose game one. You go in and grab them plus 210, plus 220, and then they come back, they win game two, and then you figure out the same maneuver, whether it's game three or game four. Celtics win game one, so we jump back in and get Golden State plus 155 in the series. Now, Golden State, it's 1-1. Hoping Golden State wins game three, then you just jump in and you get the Celtics plus 180, 200, whatever it is, because they're currently minus 115 still in the series because technically they have home court advantage.
Right.
Now, I'm surprised at the 3.5 number. I was trying to do the numbers in my head on Sunday. I thought they'd come in at 2.5. Public would push it to 3. Then we'd figure out which way it would go, 3.5 or 2.5.
Right.
The other real surpriser is the under over at 212 and a hook.
Yeah.
That was as high as 215 on Sunday. So yeah, I am a little surprised.
I think it's a pretty good number because 4 is the key. We saw it in the first 2 games with Golden State. 4, anything you win over 4, you got the Boston money. Sat at 4, you're just writing Golden State. So now, if you go to 4, you get an immediate bet on Golden State. So you can sit at 3.5. There's no movement. There'll be obviously more bets. Day of game is when most of the bets come in on this. And the NBA still takes too long between games. I mean, we got a whole week this week. We're going to play 2 games the whole week in Boston. I just don't I don't get it, but it is what it is. I don't think we'll see much movement. I don't know who's going to win this series. I'm saying it's 1-1. I still don't know who's going to win the series. I don't know. I like taking both sides and taking the plus and different things like that. I mean, that's what we're doing here. I don't need to know. If I knew, I mean, we could get Biff's almanac. We'd know everything, like we talked about last time on the show here. If we could just find that damn Biff's almanac just for 2 days, 48 hours, we'd be good. We'd be fine.
You know, I love what you just said, because I try to teach and educate on a daily basis. Now, we've been in these lanes 7.5 years, Dave, and what you just said is what we preach. Now, the problem is a lot of people think, hey, once you make a wager, you have to stick to that wager. You made that wager for a reason. You go to that window with conviction. Listen, if I'm sitting here with Golden State plus 155 and I'm sitting here with Celtics plus 220, I'm guaranteed a half a unit or 2-1. I don't give a rat's ass who wins the game. Just open up my window and tell me when I can cash the damn ticket.
That's it. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. Like there's no, I mean, it's sports and it's emotion and it's not, but like what we're doing and talking about, like removes all of that. You can actually enjoy the game. I mean, bet something and need it. Like, and then see if you enjoy that. Like after a while, you won't. You enjoy going to the window. That's what you enjoy doing. And I said it for years. It's like when the game's over and you win it, it's like relief for me. It's not, I don't even get that like, oh, I knew everything. I don't care about knowing anything. Nobody knows it anyway. Just know that you put yourself in the best position. Talking about the college softball yesterday, I had a UCLA to win it all ticket at 10-1 that I had for 3.5 months. I stared at in a drawer. I had an Oklahoma State ticket at 850. I got to the Final Four. I had UCLA going against Oklahoma. They had to win twice. They won the first game. I thought there's a chance. 15-0 out. That's it. Nice. I'm glad I saved that ticket for 3.5 months and can still read it legibly. Had the Oklahoma State ticket. Thought that's a team that could beat them. They play them in conference. Okay, we'll buy that. Got to the final. They had to lose twice. They had to hammer. They lost twice to Texas. They're out. So you get close and you sit there and then you're out. So all we're trying to do is make sure you're not out in these lanes. That's what you're doing every day. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Ideally, minimize risk, maximize return. It's what I did in the book for 20 years. It's what you're doing every day. I love it.
I thank you for that. And the hard part about it is gambling, Twitter, social media, whatever.
Oh, you can't win on there, JD. You know that.
Well, they're
everybody else does. Let them all win because nobody loses on gambling Twitter.
They're getting snowballed by the PR jobs, by the big companies in those 10, 15, 20, 25-legged parlays that 99.9% of those are photoshopped. Or if they are real, well, they hit one that paid out 30,000, but they didn't tell you that they collected 500,000 that day in those parlay wagers. So they netted themselves, plus 470 for the day. But no one wants to believe that,
No.
The surgical streams and all the other, whatever they come up with, the niffies, the yerfies, and the twerpies and all that.
Can't keep track. They keep inventing the way they say things and do things. So I'm just trying to keep up with all of it. Like, it's great. Listen, more people in a space. There's enough food for everybody to eat. It's just you got to pick which restaurant to go to, right? Like if you're a consumer right now and you're hungry for gambling content, man, there's a lot of places to eat. There's it's some fast food. There's some crap food. There's some elite steakhouses and everything in between. You want seafood, you want, different ethnic food, you want some Mexican, you want some Italian, there's something for everybody. How much do you want to spend, and what are you really in the mood for? Because you're going to get that indigestion and probably a trip to the bathroom by consuming some of this food that you get at some of these places. Good luck. That's it. We're just trying to run a nice, clean family establishment here. We like to serve breakfast and lunch, keep it simple. You want to go out to a nice dinner, we'll go with you because we're closed. We're putting in the work, but we know what we are. That's it. I love a good breakfast lunch place, one of those places. Next time you come out, I got the perfect place. We're going to go sit, have a good time. We know the owners. We could sit there as long as we want. They'll keep filling up, soft drinks, waters, coffees, whatever you'd like. That's all we're doing here every day. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. What are you doing today? Here's the couple games. Send the release. Read the text or email, whatever you get from JD. Do you have anybody correcting your spelling errors or your grammatical errors? Do you have one of those guys?
No, and here's the funny is that if it depends on what office I'm in. Okay, we got 3 offices locally, and if I happen to be in the one where the wife is, man, she says, man, you pound that keyboard like no other. I mean, I'm just, bing, 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 bing. And I'll be honest with you, I don't proofread it, and I do have autocorrect on the emails, but not the text with the delivery service and the emails with them. And as you can see, I tend to get long-winded and I get going.
Yeah, we got to tighten it up a little bit. We got to tighten it up because when you
Yeah,
start
I
flowing
know.
on a phone, and I'm like, I'm reading and I'm listening to your voice, and I'm reading and I'm listening to your voice. I'm going, would you one paragraph too many? You need an editor.
No, I know. That's coming. Hey, God willing, that God willing,
Don't change a damn thing. Do not change a damn thing. We talked about that. That's why, people watching the show and listening, like, this is what you get. Jeff says he's at the desk. He's at a desk looking at a screen, and he's hammering away numbers and looking at stuff, like talking to people. It's real. So don't change nothing. Just when it's we WE'. Sometimes it comes across in the text as were WERE without the apostrophe or something like that. That's all. Don't change a damn thing.
I got to keep everyone on their toes.
Yes, always.
Let's go. This is a perfect segue for you. You talked about the futures in college softball.
Yeah.
Now, about a month ago, we had a talk for an hour before the first drop of the puck in the NHL playoffs.
Yeah.
I broke down the brackets.
Yeah.
I was the one that had the Leafs beating the Lightning. I was the one that had Leafs, Panthers, winner would go to the cup.
Yeah.
Egg, and more egg.
Yeah.
But what I did say, and you're trying to hit the exactas at the Circa.
Yeah.
I said, just take the Avs. I got the Avs plus 130 to win the West. I'm that guy. ECSI, that guy. We got him plus 340 to win the cup.
Yep.
So I just said, take your East and just push all in with the Avs. Dave, no one's beating the Avs.
You don't think so?
No.
Wow. I think the Eastern Conference winner is beating the Avs.
Okay.
Especially if it's Tampa. I think the Avs will beat the Rangers. They'll be favored over both. But I was trading text last night late after the Avs clinched with a guy that's actually sitting in a book doing the numbers. He said his thing spit out Avs minus 250 against the Rangers and minus 140 against the Lightning right now is what he came with. And he said the number's too high against the Rangers. So that's what he's looking at. I don't know if they'll come that. I don't think it'll come that high. The Avs look great. I mean, they were fantastic. that explosion last night in the third period, unbelievable. No Kadri, no problem. No Kemper, no problem. Francouz, Frankie. We talked about Reggie back in the day, Reggie Lemlin, and what he did for the Boston Bruins as the backup goaltender to Andy Moog and comes in and gets him to the finals. I don't know. I just know how much, like, you want to talk about fun. The NHL it's the best. The playoffs. Louis Domingue said the spicy pork and broccoli was not the best. The NHL playoffs are the best. I love watching it. I love being involved in it. I tried to get cute last night and took under 7.5 in the hockey game, in game. I was like, oh, that's dead. So when it went down, I said, oh, we'll go over 6.5 in game. So try to balance it out and then bet the Avalanche yesterday. I thought they were going to sweep. Got lucky in overtime. Really, I still just enjoy watching the hockey playoffs. I still enjoy watching all the sports. Don't get me wrong. But the NHL playoffs are just a different level for me.
I had 235 on the Avs Rangers, and I was going to really shock your world, and I had 170 Avs plus 150. I thought was a fair number with the Lightning. I go back a handful of years ago, your inaugural season, Caps versus Vegas, and the big favorite that Vegas was, and then no respect to Ovechkin and the boys, and you come out, win the first two, and the series is over, and then in come the Caps, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised at that 140. I mean, that would be their third trip there. I know they got Vasilevsky. I know how good they are, how deep they are. Wow, that I think that 140. All right, let me ask you. You're getting plus 140 on the Lightning, or
plus 120.
What's that?
It would be plus 120. He said Avs minus 140.
I thought you said, oh my God. You're saying Avs minus 140 and Lightning plus 120?
That's what they will open the price. Yeah.
Avs home ice?
Yeah.
You've been in the books that long. That smells to me. That really reeks to me.
It smells low, right?
Way too low.
I know.
Okay, Dave, round one opening number. Toronto was minus 130 against the Lightning. Panthers were minus 156 against the Lightning. Yeah. So you're trying to tell me that the Avs are only wow.
Yeah. He'll probably open it a little higher. He'll probably open at 150. If everything stays the same. That's the other thing. Trying to forecast these prices without knowing what's one hit can change everything. If Kucherov gets knocked out tonight and is out of the series, the next thing that's going to affect stuff. Obviously, if Vasilevsky's not playing, they can't win. It's just so there's one or two things that can affect the price. But yes, if you price it out, and there's tools and things that we used to use all the time, and this guy uses it, really likes it, and taught me a lot about pricing series and, what is game 7 price? And you go from there, work it backwards, and that's how you come up with a series price. I don't think it could be much higher, JD. If the Lightning win tonight, it's 2-2, and they find a way to win a game in Madison Square Garden, whether it's game 5 or game 7, I think they're going to win game 6 if they play it, but who knows? Maybe the Rangers do overcome and win. But if the Lightning can do it now coming back, perception will be some bad guys betting the Lightning. So I think you got to keep it low. He did send me a text and said it's going to be 12 days. The Avalanche are going to sit for 12 days for when the NHL Stanley Cup starts. Is if they keep it, the date that it starts, which, because it's on TV now on big stuff, it might be fixed when it starts.
It's June
So,
18th.
yeah. Well, today's June 7th. Is that a good thing or bad thing when a team like that sits?
Oh, geez. I mean, just ask Tampa, who had 7 or 8 days off and laid an egg in game one.
It's tough, isn't it?
No, it is. It is. So actually, you you don't have to bet the Avs. Just let's just say the Lightning win game one, and you get plus money on the Avs after.
You want to talk about an in-game thing? The Avs in-game I think they got scored on first. The other team scored the last 7 games or something. They've won every one but one. You could have taken the Avs plus money in game every game in the last. They won 4 against Edmonton, and the last 4 against the Blues. I think the other team scored first, and they won. So, or it's 8 out of 9 or 7 out of 8. I don't know what the actual numbers are, and we got guys that can probably find that out. But you can do that. You might be able to do that in a series too. I don't think it's as obvious as you do. I mean, the Avs are a really good hockey team, and that's good that you locked that in. We had on Keith Jonesy on Bostonian versus the Book, and he came on and he was adamant. He's like, "Why would you bet that?" Well, Jonesy, they're probably going to win, and he couldn't see the value in it. That's where, guys like you, guys like me, we see value in other things that people don't see. You got the best team, you're getting plus money, and you're locking it in and out. You know they're not losing the first series against Nashville. You just know. They get the winner of the St. Louis, Minnesota series, who is going to have a tough time. So now you got a ticket punched almost to the Western Conference Finals, where you don't even care who you get. Calgary's supposed to be live. Edmonton's playing great, getting into it. And I think Edmonton gave them everything they could. I mean, it was an overtime game, a come-from-behind game, a crazy shootout game. Edmonton was right there. They just needed Mike Smith to make that save to get them through, and he couldn't do it. So we got the best team in the West plus money. Pretty good bet.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, in this regards, I think it's plus 330 right now on that ticket to win the cup. And like you said, if it's the Rangers, I mean, they're going to come in big dogs. I mean, there's no reason you hope that the Avs win the first game. If it is the Rangers, you get the Rangers at plus 380 or something. You just put a half unit and you're going to guarantee yourself, almost 3 units there.
There you go, doing that thing again where you're not baking a bet and you're just winning money, Jeffrey. I don't know if people can keep up with this. You start doing that too often, people are going to get upset with you if you get off of a bet that you have and you lock up profit. I mean, don't start doing that too often, because then people are like, well, you're not making enough profit. And what is he coming up with next? Plus, these Ranger fans. I mean, we got friends that are Ranger fans, and boy, they like to talk. And, this Ranger team, you should probably bet it all on the Rangers, because they got Igor, they got they got the kids, they got the good power play. You'll hear it all. You probably won't hear it until after they win, but that's a different story for a different time. Like the Ranger fans like to come at you before the game or after the game. After the game's minus 250.
Getting creative today. I know you always talk in-game. Lightning, big favorites today. What was I seeing? 170, 175.
Ooh.
So, and 5.5 juiced under. We know that. What do we got? Open at 165 at Circle right now, 171. A 5.5 juice under, minus 30 cents. If you're a Lightning fan, can get creative in regulation. I saw minus 120. You can get big plus money on the goal line, puck line, at like plus 150, 155. Obviously, you need the empty netter. They almost got the empty netter, by the way, on Sunday from down 2-0 to 3-2 with 40 seconds left. All those Ranger plus a goal and a half people are like, but what do you tell the people's watching and listening today, other than, in game, like you said, Rangers score 1-0, you can, jump on the Lightning plus money there. What's your gut telling you today?
My gut tells me the Lightning win the game. That was just such a good hockey game the other day. And I got the pleasure of meeting it with a guy from Pittsburgh who's in town. You guys on Twitter may know him as PSU Auto. Guy does tremendous work. A fellow girl dad. He's coaching his daughters playing softball. He's got an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old. And he's a hockey guy. So I got to watch the game with him. And I mean, it was fun. It was on one of the little side TVs at the South Point, JD. No one in the place was watching it. We were the only two guys. There was two Ranger fans sitting in front of us in a seat, husband and wife in their 60s, wearing Rangers T-shirts. That's it. There wasn't a person in the place watching it. So it's an afterthought for most people. But, I mean, selfishly, I want to see the Lightning win. I want to see more hockey like this. We're running out of – it's a perishable item. We already have one side decided. And then we're only going to have a possibility of 7 games left once we get to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I want to see the Lightning win as a fan. I want to see the Lightning win as a, in the book, we always rooted for 7-game series because it just meant more games and it meant more action and it meant more interest and talk because the summer's coming. Summer is coming when it's just baseball. I'm fine with that, but most people aren't. And again, they're all preparing for football, talking about lines and stuff for games that are in 4 months. You don't even know who the quarterback is for half the teams. You have no idea who the offensive lines are. But yeah, go ahead and lay 14. Go ahead. Enjoy it. Like if it was our book, we'd say, come on in. That's why Chrissy put them up. Yes, take the bets. Keep the limits fair and take the bets. I don't care what they do. Nobody's betting this stuff anyway. This is all for the media. I used to say that all the time. Oh, it was a big rush to put numbers up. 6 guys bet them. They all bet the same side because they all think their numbers are better. And at the end of the day, you forget about the bets in like 3 days because you got a gigantic handle on Celtics and Warriors again. So, hockey game, do we see another under? I mean, I've been loving these unders. I mean, in the Rangers in Tampa, I've been loving the unders. But now it's getting pricey. I mean, this is a concern. You got to lay 30, 35. Some places down south, Caribbean, minus 35 and minus 40. We're going to do it again. We seeing old-time hockey, JD, tonight?
4-1 Lightning.
That's the score. People, listen, when JD just throws out scores like that, I'm telling you, it's almost like he's a savant. So now I'll be looking like there's places you can actually bet the exact score. Go look at FanDuel right now what 4-1 is. I mean, what is it? Let's look together because now that you've said it out loud, we have it on record. Let's see. More wagers. 60-minute correct score. Tampa 4-1 is 14-1. 14-1.
14-1. OMG.
Yeah.
Get the tip jar. The GoFundMe going, boy.
I mean, even a 20 and Andrew Jackson at 14-1, you pick up, what is that? 380. It's and if it's sitting there 3-1 and you're waiting for that empty netter, it's just going to be too exciting. But that's what he does. He just randomly puts it out there. Now I had to go look because it might be worth, like my buddy B House says, pizza money on it. Put some pizza money on it.
We always say beer and pizza money here.
You say beer and pizza money. Yeah. We're trying to sometimes you can't have too much of the beer, so we just get the pizza money. Plus the kids eat multiple pizzas, so that's like you got to make sure you get enough pizza, and that means passing on the beer. But 4-1 right there.
Before we wrap up, you've hinted, you talked about the Phil Steele book. I know I got my email every day. It seems once a week from Warren Sharp. He puts out a big book. I get them. I put them on the desk. and I might look through them twice, maybe three times. They used to be, hey, listen, before the internet, you know this and I know this, and we're dating ourselves, but we did right in our other office, wink, wink, we had the basket with all the magazines and stuff. And these were perfect reading materials and stuff
Yeah.
there. Uh, Westgate already has the full year of all
Mhm.
the games with the lines. The market's flooded. Um, you talked about it, come on in, we're taking all the action. Hey, a little no pushing, we'll open up another window or whatever. Can you just tell the public, give them some positive thought process? Listen, we're just in June. I know the thought process of having, if you go to Vegas once a year and you want to bet your home teams, Super Bowl champs, Stanley Cup champs, base, I get all that. How many people are going to the window betting nickels and dimes? And the fact is that you're going to hold their money until the second week of February. So the novice, the guy that wants a little action, can you just give them the blueprint, please?
Oh, I mean, as far as futures, JD, somebody bets the Jets to win the Super Bowl once or twice a week in Vegas. Like they used to. Now, because it's available everywhere else, they don't do it as much. I would venture to say that the future market has probably seen a little bit of a drop off. That's one of the things here in Vegas that maybe has, but handles up everywhere. The reality is that you put up these games of the year and all this stuff and individuals, nobody bets it. It's one of those things. Less than 10 people will actually bet it before late August. You might take 6 bets on a game. Alabama, Texas, college football, game of the year. There's 6 bets on it. Maybe. Some people may put it in some parlays and stuff, but ain't nobody betting it. It's a great tool for marketing for books. It's a great way to see if your numbers are any good because you got guys willing to come up with their opinion. You tell them you're taking a dime. You want to bet it for a dime? Go ahead. It's a dime. We're going to handle on a typical college football Saturday, I don't know, anywhere if you're a small book, $1 million, $2 million to a big book, $10 to $15 million to a gigantic book, $50 million. Think a dime on a game is going to bother me? No. You can lay 12, I'll go to 14. You want to lay it again? Go ahead. So um we'll start to see people with the contests and all this other stuff, and they'll get into that. And everybody wants to take their shot at the moon, trying to win one of those contests. So you only got to pick 72%. That might get you in the money. Picking 5 games a week, JD, you got to pick 72%. That's about the benchmark right now. And somebody does it every year. I don't know how. I mean, we've done it for years. It's fun and then it becomes aggravating. Uh, Last year, 3 times, I was in 1 game back of the quarterly prize. Went 12-3, 12-3, and 13-2 in different quarters. Didn't get nothing because somebody went 1 game better all 3 of those quarters. Now the other 3 quarters, not so good. So we were just over 500. There is no one way. But it's interest. I used to love getting those magazines when they were the only thing. Now, sadly, I think a lot of them not have outlived their shelf life. They're just saturated. Like you said, there's so much information out there. I think you just got to keep seeking the light in a lot of the darkness. There's so much darkness and bad information, bad content, just negative people. It's a lesson for life, right? We talk about it when we talk, off the air. Be positive. Positive people will find you. Same with this stuff. Go find some good stuff. There's too much negative out there. Don't be those people. Just find the good stuff.
we as always can't thank you enough. We just blink and we're at the 56-minute mark.
How does
But
it happen every time?
and
And
I
I
don't
didn't get the email with the script again. I don't know what's going on. I mean, your producers aren't sending me the script email, like to give me all the talking points. I ain't got them. I don't got, and we just did an hour. How does it keep happening?
I was talking to someone yesterday and they're like, man, I went over to your YouTube channel and you got like 375 something shows, something like that. I was like, yeah. He goes, how do you do it? I was like, well, they're all unscripted. No, there's just absolutely no way. And they just don't get it. I says, leave the scripts to ESPN, Fox, all those other guys. I said, we try to educate with a little entertainment, but obviously when you and I get together, we could talk for another hour, but then our buddy Matt would be like saying, excuse me, guys, excuse me.
I know. I mean, like, from here, I'm going on Wager Talk in 30 minutes. So the producer just sent me the text here with the code to sign on. And then I'll do Bostonian versus the book with Peralt. And then we'll do Sports Grid and Sirius XM tonight. So I'll be doing this for another. I mean, I'm just getting the day started. 1 hour with you, 15 minutes with Wager Talk, an hour and a half to 2 hours with Peralt, 3 hours with Gabe and Cam, and then Ranieri and Wetzel. And that's my day. And in between, I'm going to take a nap, most likely. I'm going to go for a nice brisk walk. It's supposed to be 109 here starting tomorrow. So things are heating up in Vegas. So you got to get out before you get torched. I don't mind the heat. You guys got winter back there. We got summer out here. Everybody's got their conditions. But yeah, man, we're doing this every day. But what did you do the first thing you got up? You get some coffee, you go for a walk, let the dog outside, go check the odds screen. I mean, it's the first thing. I get up, you go to the other office in the bathroom, take care of your business, come out, now open up either your phone or your screen and check the odds screen. I don't know. That's what we're doing every day. So this makes this part fun. I hope the audience enjoys it as much as we do talking. I mean, because this is what we do. This is genuine stuff. So hopefully the people got what they wanted. If they didn't, push the like button anyway. That's all.
Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consig at Cash Consideration Show at Bostonian versus the Book. You can follow him at Props US if you'd like. Doing shows with Wager Talk, Sports Grid.
You know what else too? I'm co-hosting this week on the MLB Network on the Bettor's Eye. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the hottest team in baseball so I can figure out what to wear. So that's a big deal. I'm gonna co-host the show. I'm like, you're gonna let me talk the whole? It's I think it's a 30-minute show, and that's with Keith Irizarry. He says it with that A. I say Irizarry, but yeah, we'll be doing that. We got U.S. Open week. I mean, you're gonna have Dubsy on. So there's a lot going on. People are talking about, oh, I can't wait till football. What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
I know I didn't hit them all. Why don't you give them the version of exactly where they can find you on social media, podcast platforms, Sirius Radio, Apple TV, wherever you are this week going forward?
All right, so we'll try to do it in 30 seconds. It's about 45 seconds.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
No, I'm trying to keep it crisp. So every day, Monday through Friday, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it in different places, and then it runs overnight on Sports Grid after the McAfee show. Me and Peralt do Bostonian versus the Book, so you can search that up. It's this kind of show, just a little bit different, but that's what we do. Then every day from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern, we're on Sirius XM channel 159 on the radio, simulcast on TV, sportsgrid.com. It's on Hulu, Roku, all that stuff. It's on smart TVs. Just go on and say Sports Grid. It's channel 1160 on those channels. we're on talking about the games while the games are going on. So it's a good, they call it the second screen experience. That's what it is. Then MLB Network, once or twice a week as a baseball gambling analyst is what they have given me that title. I'm co-hosting the show this week on Friday, The Bettor's Eye. And, there's maybe a spot on pregame spread with either Matt Yalouf or Viscursion and I. So we'll see there. Cash Considerations is our own brand. That's our own personal thing. We recorded a show last night, me, Newbie, and CH. We talked about you specifically a little bit there and mentioned East Coast sports investors as well. Talked about, going to Boston, different things happening there with Newbie with the lacrosse and things like that. But we did that show. And then 8 in the Box and me and Brad Howe. We have that podcast as well. And all of that is available on video as well on the Cash Considerations podcast YouTube channel. If you search that up and you just hit subscribe, you get all these videos. They tell you when it comes and you can watch it if you want. You don't have to watch it. If you have any suggestions, put it in the comments and reach out to me on the Twitter at SportsBKConsig for Sportsbook Consigliere or Sportsbook Consigliere. You can say it however you want. I just can't use my full name, Dave, because I'm in Vegas and I'm Dave, and this Vegas Dave guy cornered the market, and it's all bad. So I can't switch it now, JD. I'm not switching it no matter what anybody says. I cannot. It's all available right there on the Twitter. Thank you, sir. I absolutely love talking to you.
Well, as you know, I have said since day one that we met, you are the real Vegas Dave. So that's sticking there. We're working on some stuff with our production and marketing team to see if we can figure something out on that.
Doing a great job, boy. I mean, Kiefer's doing a tremendous job, and you're doing a good job producing his content. And I mean, we see the end. We just don't see the road to get there. But, at our age, I don't even care what the road is. We'll go off-roading. It don't matter. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll come in horse buggy. We don't care.
Whoa! My ass will hurt. I don't know if I can ride a horse buggy or not.
The one and only Mr. Dave Sharapan. You can follow him everywhere right here, as you know. For myself at EC Sports Invest, it's another quick hour down. Dave has got a full plate. You know where to grab him. If you're not following, please follow him. You're missing the boat. You wake up every morning, and the funny thing is, you will then start saying, okay, what hat is Dave wearing today and why? And he usually has a hat with a story. So he's Padres and Tony Gwynn today. I'm Pedro Martinez and the Red Sox, and the rest is history. So we can't thank you enough, guys. Have a day. Be careful. Stay in your lanes. Cash a few tickets. Remember, Lightning 4, Rangers 1, 14-1. When that one cashes, we'll start the GoFundMe at ECSI. So have a day, guys. See you soon.